So hello, Cancer. Hope all is well. All right. So what we are doing, what we're looking at, Cancer, is the energy around life, love, and money. And we are going to pull some oracle cards as well as some tarot cards. All right. So we're going to start with the higher self oracle and just see what your higher self wants you to know right now, as it relates to the current energy that's surrounding you. Okay, Cancer? All right. So let's see for Cancer spirit. What is the message from higher self for Cancer? Beautiful energy already. Okay. Yep, I was feeling that. All right. So Cancer, it looks to me higher self. Well, let me start over. The energy around you looks really good. Your higher self is guiding you in a way that is, um, I guess, if I could say the message from your higher self is just to continue to persevere. Um, I feel that there has been a lot of changes. Okay, you have the card of changes. So there's been a lot of changes. This card, it looks as if she is coming out of fire. Okay, so it's reminding me of like the phoenix rising. So a lot of you, Cancer, you may be going through just a lot of major shifts and changes. And I feel um like an energy of like it's pulled you and like out of your comfort zone, just in many different directions and things that maybe you didn't think that you would endure, but you have endured it. You have the card of perseverance, and spirit is just reminding you that you've persevered through courage, through strength. In tarot, this would be the strength card, which is Leo's energy. Just having the courage and the strength to just persevere through whatever changes and challenges that you may have had to face. Okay. Spirit, your higher self also wants to remind you that, like, um, to see yourself as worthy, that you are worthy. You have worthiness. Okay. You have worth. Your worth. Like, don't doubt your self-worth. Don't doubt your worth or your ability to continue to move forward and to persevere through these challenges, through these obstacles. For many of you, there's a sense that you feel that it may have been something, you may have gone through like a rough season, but you do acknowledge that you've come out of it, or you're coming out of it, and that you have learned so much about yourself. um, and so your higher self just wants you to continue to trust divine timing, and trust your own process is what I'm feeling too. And that's also something that I hold dear to me, like, just trusting my process, right? My divine guidance and timing, understanding that that's going to be different for everyone, right? That I don't have to measure myself up to, or I don't have to, be on track with everybody else. My timing is my timing, right? My process is my process. So that is the message then for you, Cancer. All right. So that's what it looks really good. Like I said, you may have just gone through a lot of changes. There may have been, some you had to learn some harsh lessons, and just maybe, like I say, change course or do something different that you weren't expecting maybe to do, or maybe you were expecting the changes, but you weren't expecting them to be as challenging. But they have definitely like pulled and stretched you into becoming the best version of yourself. And so your higher self just wants you to have courage and just trust that, right? Strength to just trust that you are walking in your purpose. You are moving in divine timing. Things are working out, and for you. Things are happening for you, not to you, right? Because a lot of times we feel like, why me? Why is it happening to me? But it's happening, for you, not to you. And continue to persevere, knowing that you are worthy, right, of whatever you desire, whatever goal you've set for yourself, whatever you're trying to achieve. You are worthy of all of those things. Okay, Cancer. So that is what your spread from the higher self oracle. And I'm going to pull a few more cards as just some clarifiers for this energy. So let's see. Perseverance. Okay. Had to pause it for a second. All right. So, yes. So, Cancer, perseverance is talking about purpose and then unity. Okay. So, and unity is reversed. So, the message on the card says, you understand that love shared with another is amplified and has a ripple effect across the universe. So you may have a hard time. Some of you may be coming out of a difficult situation as it relates to maybe a relationship. It could be a work situation, a business relationship, but or some type of thing where you just felt where things were supposed to come together for you, and maybe something kind of fell apart, and you may have lost your way and felt like you lost, couldn't find your purpose or your way through something. But because you do have the card of purpose, and then unity in the reverse. So with purpose, it says you possess the determination and the dedication to consciously demonstrate love. So I feel like you're still on that track to doing that. You're still persevering through that. Although, with unity being here reversed, it's like things you feel that, maybe some things with some, like I said, a lot of changes, or things didn't quite come together the way that maybe you would have wanted them to. But there's a sense that because you continue to move forward, or if you're having a hard time, the advice is continue to move forward, to trust, right, your process, and that you are worthy of, the things that you still want, right? To continue to walk, in your faith, walk, this purpose driven, life, like whatever it is that you are, whatever your purpose is, your passions in life, continue to embrace those. All right. Let's see. And pull a few more cards. What about courage? Yep, willingness. So yeah, your higher self is just recognizing, Cancer, that you have willingness says you are able to compromise if the end result is love. So there's, you're compromising, you're having the courage to do so, compromising with others. My advice will be, to anyone, just don't compromise yourself, right? Yourself, your integrity, making sure that, and you have the card of integrity. Okay, I just said that. So yeah, don't compromise yourself. It's okay to make a compromise, right? Meet individuals or with a situation with balance, but not compromising your integrity, your core beliefs and values, because you definitely have that in the reverse position. Integrity says you demonstrate the love and honesty of your soul, and you manifest with all of your actions, right? So if you may be having a hard time doing that because you're not sticking to those core beliefs and values that you once had, or you've had to stray away from it. Maybe that's why the changes, because sometimes things in tarot, this will be like the Tower. So a lot of shifts and changes. Sometimes, to me, the Tower card is the divine kind of shifting us in a good way, but sometimes it does not feel that way, because maybe there's some things we need to look at. We need to just have a complete start over, right? If you understand the tarot card, I always say the tarot card is like a demolition crew just coming through and just completely demolishing the structure. And in that moment, there's a sense of, oh my goodness, like what is going on? What is happening? Um, a feeling of everything that I knew that was standing, that my foundation has just been completely demolished. But If you trust the process, it can be a beautiful thing because it gives you an opportunity, like as a clean slate, right? So that's what I'm feeling for you, Cancer. So a lot of shifts and changes, um, but your higher self is like leading you through this and guiding you and helping you and just letting you know, continue to just persevere. You are worthy of whatever it is that you have. That you want to achieve. So don't give up the vision. Don't give up on that. You have the courage to do so and the willingness, courage and willingness. And just trust your own process and stay in your integrity. Okay. With this trust and integrity being reversed, that's what I was feeling with that. Just, trust your process, because there's a sense that maybe you're trying to compete with others or measure up to other standards. But just, as long as you're doing the best that you're doing at your level of wherever you are, and you're continuing to just persevere through that and learn and grow. For some of you, you're learning, growing, and healing in this situation with this Phoenix. Phoenix talks about, healing, purification, right? The Phoenix, the fire, and so it looks good. So just keep moving. All right, keep persevering. So let's see then, Cancer. Let's look at finances, okay, and see what we get for that. So I'm gonna pull these cards to the side. All right. So what about finances for Cancer? What's the overall energy around finances? Blessings and advice. You're getting more cards than I wanted to pull, but that's okay. The spirit team is like, we have a lot to say to Cancer. All right, so let's see. The overall energy, Cancer, for your finances right now, money, finances, financial blessings, is the frame card, okay? And the frame card talks about steady income. There's the energy of steady income, organizing, accomplishments, okay? For some of you, and this is a side note, but not really, take it how it resonates, but there's an energy I'm feeling of someone like focusing on the home, like beautification of the home, making the home like a sacred space, maybe, and maybe being creative in the home, doing some changes, maybe some home repairs. Maybe that's where money has gone into, like doing some home repairs. There's a focus on that because I think that's your center, right? Cancer rules the home, the family, the house, right? And so it's almost like if you get like that, maybe that's your focal point, and then everything kind of branches off from that. So like making sure that the home is that sacred space for you where you feel comfortable, right? You're surrounded not by just, if you're living with other people, not just the people around you are like, okay, but like making sure that the home is filled with things that make you just feel comfortable, um, feel safe, feel a sense of somewhere sacred where you want to come, right? Not just a place where you come, lay your head, and then get up and go to work again. Like, just, if you're going to spend time in the home, like just making sure that it's comfortable. I'm seeing someone like go and buy like a new bedspread or a new comforter and just making like, nice fluffy pillows, or just a nice comfy bed, or maybe like, going to just really spend money on a nice robe, just so you can feel comfortable like in your home, because there's a sense that you are persevering maybe through a lot of things, maybe trying to work, hard, you're working. And so when you come home, there's a sense that I want to come home and be comfortable. Okay. Um, I'm seeing gray. I don't know why that's, um, I don't know. I just see that. That's like gray. I see gray, something. Some of you may have something that you just, when you're home, like a gray fleece blanket or comforter or something like that, a pillow. I'm just saying something like that. Like that's something that when you come home, you put maybe there's a robe that you wear or like a bedspread that's just very comfortable for you. But Spirit is just pointing out that that's very important right now. Organizing the home, getting the home together. I know for me, like if I, do like a cleanse in the home, open the windows, just air things out, dust and organize. I don't know. It just gives me a sense of like, okay, now I can flow, right? So you can start to, have the creative ideas, or you can just work and think better, right? So there's a sense about that around your money, your income. Um, you may need to do some type of spiritual cleanse in the home, letting the stagnant energy out so that more blessings can come in as it relates to money and abundance. Okay. So I've said a lot with your overall energy, Cancer, but that's kind of what I'm picking up for you as far as that's concerned. Um, in the position of an obstacle right now, yeah, it's the light bulb, which talks about being creative, and that's exactly what I was picking up. There's an energy of maybe your creativity is blocked because you just need to really clean up, like do a deep cleanse. And some of you may, I'm not saying your home is dirty or anything like that, but sometimes we just need to like clear the clutter, right? There's things in our home that we know like just need to be donated or to be sold or just thrown away, or just so that's the sense I'm getting for you, Cancer. So that just new, the light bulb talks about finding new ideas that also increase new revenues of income. All right, so there may be the more inspiration and then maybe working for yourself, right? A business, an idea, but but definitely around creativity and around like getting the energy flowing, right? So there's a sense that in the home, Cancer, it may be some stagnant energy that you just need to release, to shift, to cleanse, like a spiritual cleanse, and yeah, just get organized, and the energy of that is gonna continue help usher in more blessings into the home, right? And I believe that because um, I believe the energy has to flow, right? So if we're not open, our not just us as the vessel, right? Is not open, but even our spaces, like our home, even your car, office space, right? If that has a lot of stagnant energy, then new blessings, new energy, creativity cannot flow in. So and I believe that's very important to me. But you take what works for you, what resonates, but that's the energy that I'm getting, even around your finances. All right. So, what you don't see coming, the blessing right now that's coming your way, um, someone may see you as a very wise person for them right now. You have the heart card. This card speaks of like, to me, like maybe it's something emotional, family. This could be someone very close to you, a child, a family member, a partner, but they're needing like your emotional support. And it talks about as it relates to your finances, maybe you and a partner, or you and a child need to just sit down and have a heart to heart conversation about your finances. Um, like, for instance, if this is a child and maybe they're at an age where they're starting to work, maybe you have a teenager at home, or a child that's in college. Maybe you're seeing that they're spending a lot, and so you're getting frustrated with them. So it's almost like, well, sit them down and talk to them about budgeting. Talk to them about why it's important to to save money or to be smart, right, with money, wise spending, and also be the model for them for that, okay? Because it does talk about emotional spending. It talks about joint bank accounts and finances, right? So, like I said, if you're married or you're in a sacred union with someone, just making sure that you two are on the same page with your finances. All right. It also talks about being supportive or seeking support in that area. So, like if the two of you maybe need to, um, therapy, right, for emotional uh, counseling. But if I'm feeling it more as financial, like maybe like calling someone in or doing some research on how to really like manage your money better. Okay, that's what I'm feeling for you, Cancer. Because you also have the gold card fill out, and it fell out reversed. So it talks about solid, the gold card talks about solid finances, investing, that integrity, right? Having integrity in the situation. So, like, as far as business, doing things that are with integrity, right? Not doing anything that's going to be like any type of risky, sneaky type business as it relates to money. But it's in the reverse, so you're having a hard time doing that. Maybe I'm talking to a Cancer that's getting older, or you're just looking at the future as far as investments, 401ks, retirement, things like that. So you just got to, and it's in the reverse position because I think that it's hard for you to really look at it. That's maybe for some of you that's a tough area to really want to focus on and want to sit down with your partner and talk about. Um, Talking about retirement, maybe you're worried if you're going to have enough. Um, Something like that. If this is a child, you're trying to get them in the mindset of wise spending, right? And so that's just a difficult conversation to have with, like, it's like I said, if it's a teenager, because maybe they're just not thinking about that. Um, but it's coming through as a blessing. So I think that if once you get a hold up, like um you get really like intentional about taking control, right, of your finances, of your, what are we investing in? Are we looking at things from a very logical, right, strategic? Do we have a plan, right, for our savings, for our investment, for our retirement? um for some of you, this is, I'm hearing, like life insurance, or just having some money left for your spouse, so they're going to have enough if so it's something about that. There's a lot, because with the change card being one of your higher self, your oracle cards, it's almost, there's a lot of changes and shifts. Maybe you are getting older, or you're just looking at the future. Things are changing in your family dynamic. Kids are getting older, you're getting older, something like that. So yeah, it's a call for you to really, a call to action for you to look at your finances through a new lens, and just be very strategic in planning for the future. Okay. So your advice from spirit is just that you have the book card, okay, which talks about researching things, looking at paperwork, documents, maybe getting some support from someone who is in finance or banking, someone that can help you, at a financial advisor, someone that can just advise you better, or you just doing the research on your own. Taking a class maybe to learn more about money, finances, uh, and the ornaments card talks about extra savings. This could be looking into, it talks about retirement. It also talks about uh, investing money, extra money. The ornaments card is also like having extra money to do things with, to take a trip, right? Putting money to the side, taking a second job, just having some extra income coming in. So, Cancer, if you do have some extra come in, like a bonus, or you're working another job, just making sure that you're putting that money, maybe that's money that you can start to invest in, right? Um, and then you also have the coffin card as an advice card. So there's a energy around you really focusing, Cancer, right now on home, finances, because the coffin card talks of endings. Okay, it talks of bad investments, financial challenges. So your advice is that, get these things in order, because there may be an energy of another challenge coming towards you as it relates to money and stability. Okay. um yeah, because the coffin card could be like the death card in tarot, right? So like things shifting, changing, something coming to an end, right? But in the death card in tarot, which is Scorpio energy, it also talks about ending, but then a new beginning, because everything that ends is a new beginning. So if something is coming to an end, if you're um, ending a job or ending um, whatever this may be as a shift or change in your finances, there's also an opportunity for you to do something different. Think about it better, come up with a new strategy, right? So where one door closes, there's another opportunity, but you have to focus and see it that way, right? There's an emphasis on you the seeing a new opportunity, right? And maybe not just focusing. Maybe you used to saving money or managing money, one way, looking at it through one lens, so to speak. But there's a call for you to kind of look at it differently. And on a larger scale, we're all looking at money and finances and things different, because our world is different. It's taking more to in my opinion, it's taking more to even just have the basic necessities, right? Well, a lot of us are feeling the crunch behind that. Inflation in a lot of places is. So yeah, so it's just a call for you to look at things differently. All right, Cancer. So it looks good, right? Just really set some intentions and start, working towards the goals of just um, getting organized in the home, okay, as it relates to your finances, and also as it relates to yourself, just feeling grounded and whole and secure and safe. Um, all right, so that you can move forward and start to create this mindset of um, this positive shift, positive money mindset, and just getting some things, um, setting some new goals as it relates to your finances and your financial stability. All right. So that is that. And we're going to move on to your love. So in this reading, we're going to be looking at just some energy around your love, around love, partnership, and romance for you. And then I'm going to pull a few tarot cards. All right, and I do want to pull past, present, and future energy with this spread. So Spirit, what's in the past for Cancer as it relates to love, partnership, energy around love, partnership, and romance? Okay. Oh, wow. You have the Phoenix again. All right. So, Cancer, let me see. Let me sit with this real quick. I feel for some of you, there's even been a lot of shifts and changes as it relates to love, like romantic love, partnership. Um, that energy that you have, you're coming out of as it relates to love and partnership. You have addiction. Okay. To me, this energy in tarot would be the Devil card, which talks about like codependent energy, being obsessed or just overconsumption of something, someone. Uh, it talks about a restraint, and an emotional block. And that was the thing that when I pulled the card, I heard, like I heard stuck energy. But you're moving past that. So you may have been in a very codependent relationship. If you're still in a connection, maybe you and your partner had to, um, I'm seeing two people that just had to look at themselves, although they are in a union with one another, they really had to set some boundaries, right? Like understanding that they're still individual people, like inside of the relationship, and that maybe it's okay for, you to do things that you love, individually, and the other person as well. Um, in the current energy, you have self indulgence, which talks about knowing your worth, taking time to heal, doing some shadow work. Okay, so for those cancers who are single, you may be getting out of a very codependent relationship and just focusing currently on yourself, healing, doing some shadow work, um, just taking time to yourself, to appreciate yourself and where you are. For those who are in a connection, it speaks of maybe you and your partner getting, maybe going to, therapy, or just understanding, like I said, that you two are still separate, and that it's okay to work on yourself separately, especially because that, you know, helps the team, helps the partnership, right? Um, yeah. So you and your partner may have just gone through some things, but there's a lot of healing energy around it. And what's coming towards you is the Phoenix. Okay, this card has presented itself twice. All right, and it says new phase, rekindling, growing, change mind, rising from the ashes. So for those of you who are single, uh, cancers, my single cancers, this can represent you just entering a new phase. Okay, it could be a new phase of just being comfortable, with just being single and just doing some self-reflection and some healing, breaking away from codependent, toxic relationships, and feeling the need to feeling obligated to kind of continue to be in relationship with people who are um, maybe that you have an attachment to, or they have an attachment to, but it's maybe like a trauma bond, like it's unhealthy. So you're just learning that, and you're just in a what's coming towards you then is just, like I said, just healing, and changing your mindset. Um, yeah, and just being determined. And like I said, you had the card of persevering. For those of you who are in a partnership, that you and your partner are rekindling, coming into a greater understanding. Maybe you have done some healing, some reflection together. You've gone to therapy, or just got really centered on not taking each other for granted, and seeing each other for individuals, as in, respecting and showing gratitude to the individual person, right? You as an individual, them as an individual, but then how that works as it relates to the relationship. So yeah, it looks good. It looks good. I'm gonna pull some tarot cards and we're gonna wrap it up. All right, Spirit. Clarify addiction for Cancer. Yep. Some of you could be coming out of like a narcissistic, just a very toxic relationship. And I'm hearing cycle or pattern. So maybe that was something that you found yourself in. You may have found yourself going back to a particular person. Because you have the King of Pentacles reversed. This person may have energetically, they may have some blocks, and it may have affected you financially. This person may have put you in some type of debt in some kind of way. They just were not responsible with their money. This person could have had an addiction. You have the card of addiction, could have been an addiction. But what I'm picking up is this is just a very toxic, for those of you that are single, you're coming out of something very toxic and moving into healing, a space of healing. Spirit wants to remember, if this is, I'm talking to a single Cancer, you have the Six of Swords reversed, where as it relates to healing. Remember why you left. That's my advice, because the Six of Swords reversed can be someone who is trying to move past a difficult situation, but they're looking back. So you could be wanting to physically go back to that person, because even if it was toxic, it's just familiar to you. It's um sometimes we can our mind is powerful. We can tell ourselves, oh, we'll be okay in this situation, especially if it was a very codependent situation. The other person may be wanting you to come back and guilt tripping you and things like that. But uh with this card, my advice would be just remember why you left, because it looks like you're trying to heal and get on the right track. So, just making sure you don't go back to something that you're going to regret. Yeah. And with the energy around the Phoenix rising from the ashes, you're there's a balance happening between maybe your emotions and your logic. Okay. That's beautiful to see. Yeah. Rising above challenges with this Ten of Wands. And if this is a partnership that you're in, you and your partner are just rising through challenges, maybe some financial challenges, things that were just very hard on the relationship. I know financial struggles can be like a number one stressor for a lot of relationships. So maybe you're coming out of that. But it looks like you two are becoming more flexible, getting through, some difficult times. And you're rising like the Phoenix. Okay. So, Cancer, that is what I have for you. I hope that helped. And I will see you in the next video. And we're going to move on to Pisces. All right. Hello, Pisces. I hope all is well. We're doing life, love, and money readings today. So we're going to look at the energy around, just current energy around what's going on in your life. We're going to be pulling oracle cards and tarot cards. Okay. All right. So let me... All right. Once again, Pisces, I hope all is well. Leave me a comment. Let me know how the reading resonates. Subscribe, join the family if you have not already, and leave me a comment. I think I said that already. All right. So let's see. Spirit. These are going to be higher self messages, the first oracle messages. All right, this is for Pisces. All right. Pisces, there's a sense that you're praying for patience in a situation. Okay, you have higher self is recognizing that you're trying to have patience in a situation, and there's almost a sense that you're praying, like you're really just really wanting to ground and center yourself around being patient. Okay. It's related to some type of failure, okay? Or at least that's the energy, okay? That's how you're looking at it. Your higher self wants you to know that it's okay for you to it says clear your energy. I feel like to say it's so higher self wants you to know like it's okay for you to not be afraid to move in a different direction, like to do something different. even if that means clearing and releasing, a person, a place, a behavior, just something that's just not serving you any longer is what I'm feeling. Some of you are doing that, but there's a sense that a lot of you, Pisces, you're trying to find the courage and the strength and the patience in a situation. You're asking, for guidance from your spirit team, and I just think that if you tap in, you'll hear the higher self is just telling you like it's okay. I just hear someone, it's okay. You can release this now. It's okay. It's okay to release it, to let it go, especially if it no longer serves you, because it's making you, there's a sense that it's making you feel like a failure, but you're not a failure, right? But holding on to whatever this is, Pisces, that's the feeling like, oh my God, this is, because it's like a burden, it's heavy. And that's why Spirit is saying that it's okay for you to release it. You've been very patient. This is a person, you've been very patient with this person. You pray for change. This could be a relationship. This could be a friendship, but you're just praying for change in a situation, that this person, that you can be patient, have the words to say to connect to their higher self so that they can understand you on a soul level. If you're trying to communicate, there's a lot of energy of communication. The cards, there's a lot of blue here. So a lot of water energy. You're a water sign. A lot of emotional energy coming off of these cards. Okay. So if it's water, if it's, emotional energy, it's also healing energy. So your higher self wants you to know that their healing is available to you. But I believe it's you're called. You have to release whatever this is. It could be a mindset, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be a person. It could be a mindset. It could be a mindset of fear. Okay, it could be a energy, a spirit of fear that's surrounding you and causing you to not, move in the direction that is highest best for you, because you're just afraid of failing. Okay, but it's all an illusion. Fear is an illusion, right? We only fear the past because we have an opportunity every day to just start new, and to do something different. All right, Pisces, I want you to remember that. Um, so yeah, whatever this is, you can release it. It's okay. It's time too, is what I'm feeling. Let me pull you a few more cards and see. Let me clarify some of these. Clear energy. What is the message? Yep, you got patience again, and then kindness. And I feel like you need to show kindness to yourself, Pisces. Kindness and grace. It says you are a humanitarian, and you're able to share the energy with others. I think that's not a problem. I think you just need to show that same kindness that you extend to others, Pisces. I think you need to show grace and compassion and kindness to yourself, especially through this situation where you're trying to break free of something and release something that no longer serves you. Okay. You have patience again. So like I said, you're trying to be very patient. I feel like you're trying to be patient with someone, because it says you're able to let the universal energy of transformation move accordingly to its own loving rhythm. Like that's usually the case, but in this instance of whatever this is, it's just been hard for you to do that. Because I think you've just given so much to this situation and trying to be patient, especially with this prayer here, and it's just feeling burdened like a failure, and then patience showing up twice, like you've given whatever this is, you've given it. There's a sense that you've given it your all, you've given it everything that you have, and now Spirit wants you to pour back into you. Okay. Yep, because you have commitment reversed and purpose reversed. Okay. And then you have the card of integrity. So Spirit wants you to stay, true to your core beliefs and values. And, whatever this is, you have to release it, because it's blocking your commitment to yourself and your life purpose. You have commitment and purpose in the reverse position. So it's time, Pisces. I think that's the message here. It's just time to let something go that does not serve you. because it's kind of like blocking your movement forward, and it's causing you to kind of lose sight of like yourself and your purpose. And that's spirit does not want that for you. Higher self does not want that for you. That's not, we're here to help, assist others on the path, but not to do the work for them. And yeah, they have to do that themselves, and we're not here to pour so much into others that we're depleting, right, and diminishing ourselves. That was never the goal, right? Mm-mm. We should be helping each other, lifting each other up, not feeling like someone is just a burden and just holding you back. All right. So the message is, once again, Pisces, is clear your energy. Don't be afraid, right, to just release something that no longer serves you. Okay. So we're going to shift that energy a little bit, Pisces, and we're going to look at your finances. All right. All right. So what is the message for finances? Financial blessings, blockages, challenges for Pisces. And I'm going to take that one. Let's see. All right. You have the gears card, Pisces, which talks about, money flowing, working hard. It came out reversed. I generally don't read these cards reversed, but there is an energy coming off of this card that to me points of you just working hard, just grinding, right? But you don't feel like the money is flowing. Like maybe it flows and then it slows down. It flows, it slows down. So there's a sense that maybe you need to put like a new plan into action, okay? Because with the gears, it's kind of like you have to oil it up to keep it moving. So there's some stagnant energy, and so it's like you gotta uh, put in something new, right, in order for things to kind of move smoothly the way that they need to. There's also a sense of feeling of observation, like observing what is not working, just kind of analyzing everything, taking an assessment like what is working for me as far as my money, and then what is not and what needs to be changed. Okay. What can be done better? That's the energy I'm feeling for you, Pisces. You also have the Mass card in the position of a challenge for you. So a challenge is saving. You have to save. It's maybe hard for you to do that. The Mass card can also talk about like someone stealing money from you. Um, so if you're helping someone, maybe you're helping a friend, a family member, just making sure that you're setting boundaries, right? You're not just giving and then it's depleting what you have. Okay, and maybe that's you had the energy about releasing. Uh, So maybe that's it, releasing the feeling that you have to be there for everybody and help everybody else financially, um, or vice versa. You don't set an energy where, other people are helping you, but they're helping you in vain because you're not trying to help yourself. Okay. So that's the energy around that card, Pisces, as it relates to an obstacle. A blessing you have a lucky break. Okay. So the Clover card it could talk about, winning the lottery, having someone gift you money, just having a change, um, a surprise, right? Something unexpected coming as it relates to money, having a lucky break. So there's some type of lucky break, a blessing, um, If you're not working or looking for, new work or new opportunity, the energy is possible. It's like there's new energy being poured into that. So like, that's coming in as a form of a blessing with this Clover card. And then your advice from Spirit, Pisces, is you have the Anchor card, you have the eggs, starting over, saving. It came out reversed. So Spirit wants you to know that like you're getting, as long as you continue to stay focused on not overspending, saving, having a plan, it looks like you're gonna feel like you're feeling financially sound, like there's no blockages. Because I think right now with this Gears card, I was feeling that there's like a push pull, like a stop go with your finances. Things are flowing, and then there's a blockage. And I mean, that's the natural progression of things. I always say we're either in, drought season or overflow, but just knowing how to navigate through both, right? So when you're in a abundant season, you're saving, you're being very practical with your money, and so that when you enter this drought season, because I think, to me, that's inevitable. Sometimes we're up and sometimes we're down financially, but so we have to expect that. So we have to, it's not about being afraid, but just being prepared, right? What they say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So it's that type of energy, Pisces. So just, stay ready, stay prepared, right? Be smart with your money, because Spirit just wants you to know that once you do that, like you're gonna be fine. And just continue to have a strategy with this chess card, okay? Have a strategy and stick to it. Because I'm hearing for some of you, maybe you start out at the beginning of the year or whatever, you're doing really good, and then, so paying attention to, okay, last year this time, I fell into a crunch with money, a pitfall. So then, okay, this time I'm going to do better. This time, for some of you, maybe if you're working for yourself, if you have, maybe there's a slow season, where you're not getting as many clients or something like that. But yeah, just many customers are, however you're making money. But then understanding that, in those times was when you have to really have a practical plan, right? And just save and not spend as much. Okay, so just having a positive money mindset, but also putting things in action with a chess card. Spirit just wants you to, just do that and be committed to it, right? Because you had the card of commitment in the reverse. So staying committed to the plan, all right? Even as it relates to your money. All right, so that's what I have for you, Pisces. And we're going to move on to the last spread, which is going to be, we're going to look at love. So love, romantic partnership. And we're going to see what's coming in. Is any new love advice? All right, this is for Pisces. Okay. All right, clarify abundance. I was feeling that, okay. And then, give me one more. Yeah. And then a clarify ascending. Okay, that's good. That wasn't There's a lot of money blessings around your your love life. A lot of financial blessings, Pisces. So for me, it's pulling the energy of maybe someone who's already in a partnership, or someone who's met someone. Like you met this person and you're pretty, you have your mindset that like this is going to be the person that you're going to be with for a long period of time. Like you're committed to this person. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because your first card is the abundance card. So as a past energy, this is you getting together with someone who shares your values as it relates to money. Okay. Maybe you and your partner make good money. Okay. You make good money. The both of you are very focused on creating a secure foundation, a good life for yourself. All right. So there's a sense that like because this is in the past, the energy that you're coming out of. Money is good. There is a sense I do see that. Remember, I said that was like with that gears card, like a ebb and a flow, right? We're like, okay, we're up and now we're down, because you do have the star card reversed. Um, you could be in a partnership with an Aquarius, but the star card talks about healing, but it's in the reverse. So there's something that you can also talk about direction, um, moving in a direction of, positive movement or just healing. But with it being in reverse, it's like you and your partner may be coming out of a rough patch financially. You kind of lost your way a little bit. It's a sense of like, I don't know what happened, right? And I can see why then Spirit wants you to like really observe that and analyze it, so that the next time, once you all get everything back together, you don't find yourself in this rut again. Okay. So being aware of like, your spending and your habits and all of that, um, I do feel in the current position you have soulmates. Okay, so if I'm speaking to a Pisces that is in a connection or just met someone, like I say, you feel like this is your person. um you may feel like this person is your soulmate, your life partner, so you could be married to this person. So that the tarot cards that clarify this is the Five of Wands and the Eight of Swords. Okay, the Five of Wands can talk about feeling left out in the cold, feeling some hardship. And then the Eight of Swords is fear, like mental anguish. What I'm feeling, Pisces, is that I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like you and your partner are trying to like keep up with the Joneses. I don't even know if people still use that phrase, but like keep up with others. Maybe you're looking at some other people that are partner, and they have a new car, they have a house, they have a certain status, and you're trying to level up. Or maybe you're not even comparing yourself to other people, but maybe you just have this idea of a status that you want to see yourself in. So because the Five of Wands can talk about like competition, but it's not healthy. Okay. That may be causing some type of conflict in a relationship dynamic. Okay. So just being aware of that, because I feel like currently that's where you are. You two love each other, but the money conflict comes in because maybe you or the other person or both of you are trying to. It's okay that you're trying to level up and you want things, but it's like the way you're going about it is not healthy. It's almost like reckless. Okay. Yeah. And it's causing you a lot of stress, like mental anguish. Okay. And it's almost like you can't really acknowledge and be grateful for what you have, because you're always looking for the next best thing. And sometimes we just have to be grateful, right, for where we are, and just work through that process, right, instead of maybe going from 0 to 100, going through the steps, right. Okay, when we make this amount of money, we're going to do this, not just, okay, we've got a bonus, so now we're going to go straight and buy the brand new car, that's like more than what we can afford. It's something like that. Okay, it's a very unhealthy way of thinking. And it may be causing some stress around the connection. Okay, yeah. So, and then in the what's coming towards you, you have the card of ascending. So you and your partner are learning. Okay, you are learning, and take the energy how it resonates. If you're single, adjust this could be you and how you're thinking. You may be having imbalance in thinking about wanting to be with someone who can level you up financially, right? But it may be kind of irrational to think like that, because maybe, you got to look at what the both of you have and how you're going to work together, or looking for a partner that you're going to work together with. So you take that how it resonates, but I am picking up the energy, Pisces, of someone who is in a connection. You and your partner are learning, you're expanding, you're growing. So there's a lot of growth, maturity, um, because of this stress and strain and around particularly your finances. You're learning to be better. Okay. So just continue to do that, because you do have the Queen of Pentacles here, which talks about things, um, things growing, things coming into fruition, abundance, right? And then you have the Ace of Pentacles, so like a new start. So someone could be getting a new job, a new promotion, a new position. You may be traveling, you and your partner, just a clean, like a fresh start. So I do see you ascending into like a higher uh, level of commitment. If you're not married, the two of you may be getting married. So I can see why Spirit is like, just be aware of all these other little things, right? Because that can definitely be stressful, create a lot of conflict, right? Five of Wands, conflict in a situation. All right. So that is what I have for you, Pisces. Trying to see if I want to pull any more cards, but I think that's it. It's pretty straightforward. All right. So that was your reading, Pisces. Leave me a comment. Let me know how it resonates, if it resonates. And we're going to move on to Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. I hope all is well with you, Scorpio. We are looking at the energy around life, love, and money. Okay, and so we're pulling oracle cards as well as a few tarot cards, and we're just gonna see what energy is around you, and then we'll talk about it. All right. So once again, Scorpio, welcome back. If you're returning, if you're new, I would love to have you as part of the family. The family is growing. And yeah, hit that like button for me. Don't forget to leave me a comment. All right. And this reading is already over an hour, so I don't want to rush the reading, Scorpio. I want to give you your time, but I got to be mindful as well of the time. All right, so we're going to pull Higher Self Oracle and just see what your higher self wants you to know at this time. All right, this is for Scorpio. All right. Good. One more. All right. You've been waiting on something, Scorpio. Yeah, you've been waiting on something. You've been probably, working hard, putting some time, energy, and attention into something or someone. Take it how it resonates. But your higher self wants you to know to continue to trust divine timing, because help is on the way. Okay, whether that's from a spirit, your spirit team is helping you, or you're manifesting the help that you, either way, you're manifesting the help that you need in this situation. Okay, as it relates to maybe spiritual guidance, advice, this could be part of that advice from me. I always say I'm just, giving you confirmation about what you already know, right? And expect the unexpected. Okay. So, because there's a sense that you have overcome some things. It's talking about overcoming obstacles. I think that through whatever this change and challenge is, it has helped you, Scorpio, to gain a different perspective in a situation. And you're very grateful for that. All right. So right now it's just like Spirit is just, your higher self is just saying, continue to go with the flow and just have patience in a situation, knowing that it's going to work out for you. Okay. It's a really clear cut message. Um, there's a lot of fiery energy I'm feeling around this and a lot of water energy. Okay. So just being determined in a situation, I feel like you have been very grateful, and then it's emotional, but it's like healing energy, right? Water, emotions, healing. You are a water sign. Tapping in and trusting your intuition, followed with your discernment. Um, Listening to intuitive nudges and then letting discernment guide you in a situation, and continue to, just like I said, looking at something through, looking at all sides of a situation. I feel like I said, you are doing that. That's what I'm feeling the most, Scorpio. You are looking at all the sides in the situation, and because of that, you're like, you feel very grateful. You can sit in a space of gratitude because of that. The Spirit just wants you to go with the flow, be patient, and just know help is on the way, and to trust divine timing. Okay, because that's what you have through this new perspective and being grateful. Um, you know, even through some of the hard times, you haven't lost your faith in the situation, and because of that, Spirit just wants you to know that help is on the way. Things are working out in your favor. Okay, so just trusting divine timing and trusting, which is also your timing, your specific timing, right? Trusting that Spirit, knows what's best for you, understands your timing, how you work, what's highest best for you, and just kind of leaning into the understanding of that. All right, Scorpio. So that's beautiful. That's a beautiful message. So let's see. We're going to pull a few more cards. Oracle messages. Clarify persistence. Yep, tolerance. You've been very patient in a situation. You got that twice. It says you appreciate other points of view because you sense the love of everyone. So that's, to me, that's focus. That's talking more about that perspective. Okay. So you're being rewarded. This was like a spiritual, I'm hearing assignment or spiritual awakening. You really leaned into that, like the challenge, you accepted it, and it's working. Things are working in your favor because you took the time to maybe do some shadow work, really looking at something through a different perspective, really doing some introspection. Um, Definitely tapping into higher self, understanding yourself as a spirit, having a human experience and the balance of that and what that means on both sides, right? The spiritual and the earthly, right? So it looks beautiful. I really don't. Let me see. I'll pull a few more cards, but I think that's, to me, it's pretty clear cut for you. Stay present. Continue to trust. You got trust again. Trust is in the reverse, but I think it's because you just got to stay focused, right, in the present. Spirit wants you to understand that it's okay for you to set a goal, and it's, looking out like to the future, but also showing gratitude. Continue to show gratitude to where you are, okay, and learning how to balance that, because you also have empathy, and I feel like you need to pull it back to you, because it says you feel and understand the emotions of another. Okay, you're doing that, but Spirit wants you to kind of show yourself that as well. Okay, I feel like it's reversed because it needs to be, continue to focus on yourself, showing yourself some grace. Because with gratitude being here, there's a sense that you know, you are grateful. Um, I even feel like Scorpio, for some of you, you say that to others, like, you know, I appreciate you. I'm grateful for this, you know, this time and space, you know, being connected to someone, meeting someone, being in a space, someone, you know, but also make sure you're showing the same to yourself, you know, because, you know, someone invited you to a space, but you showed up, you right? Like they may have opened the door, you know, giving you the invitation, but you showed up as your highest best self, right? So you have to show gratitude to that as well. Okay, that's what I'm feeling to say to you, Scorpio. Yep, acceptance. Yep, accept where you are and you know what you've. And I feel like you're doing that. I really do. You've overcome a lot. You've come through a lot. All of the water signs, the readings have just been about, you know, going through some things and having to release and renew. So that's like a renewal energy around the water signs right now. So all of the messages were different, but they were definitely focused on transformation. Okay, that's beautiful. Emotional healing or release so that you can heal something. All right. So your reading was in alignment. Your reading so far is in alignment with that message, Scorpio. All right. So let's see. Let's move on to your finances and see what's going on in that area. All right. Finances for financial blessings, obstacles, things to be aware of for Scorpio. All right, we have the heart card. All right. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's coming through as a side note, Scorpio. Because I feel like for some of you, like you're always the one lending a hand. You have the hand card. Okay, it talks about manifestation, but it also talks about financial assistance, like not being afraid um, to show a helping hand, because I don't know, the center of this hand, it looks like a heart, and then the center of your reading, you have the heart. So it's like the two go hand in hand. Okay. Because you have a big heart. I'm talking to a Scorpio that has a big heart. You don't mind reaching and helping others, and so spirit is just like, just understand from the universe that's a reciprocal cup, right? If you have extended help, then help is extending it. The universe is extending help to you, but you have to be okay with receiving it. Because the energy of the heart talks about feeling supported. Okay, so reaching out for help, that's going to be important for you in this journey, as far and with money, like and maybe not help like, you know, financial, but maybe like help with understanding how, you know, about investments, how money works, saving, you know, not being afraid to open up and speak out maybe about things that you don't understand but you want to learn as it relates to money and money management, and, you know, and all of that. Obstacle for you is just that, coming up with a plan. You have the chess card, so wise spending, long-term game like saving, retirement. So maybe some of you are not understanding things like 401ks, retirement, you know, how that works. And spirit is just like, don't be afraid to reach out and learn. Because I think I'm talking to a Scorpio that's very Like maybe you're saving, you're making money, money's coming in, but just understanding how to invest for you to save for your future. In a blessing, some of you may be getting a promotion, a new job. There's an energy for some of you that you may be revisiting a job offer, or going back to a job from your past, um, getting a promotion. Yeah. Also doing something spontaneous, taking a risk, but not well, I'll say a risk, taking a risk, but like, um, I want to say a calculated risk, if that's even a thing. But yeah, so like not just maybe jumping foolishly into like a investment, but like taking a risk, not being so like, even if it's just a little bit, maybe some of you want to get into trading, but maybe just a little bit at a time, something like that, but not being afraid to take a risk. Because I think it's going to be good for you with the spiral card. Um, and then your advice, Scorpio, is you just got to do it. Like if you're going to take this risk, some of you are doing a lot of research and in stocks, investing, with this book card energy. So spirit is like, you just got to do it. Like it was in the reverse. It's almost like you've done the homework, you've done the research, just do it. You also have the coffin card. Spirit wants you to know that, the coffin card talks about bad investments, but it's reversed. So that's like, it's not going to be bad. Okay. Because I think some of you have learned enough to, you feel good. Like, let's go ahead and do it. Like, if you're hesitant, it's like, invest. For some of you, this is investing in yourself. Okay, you've been wanting to do something, get a business started, something off the ground, an idea, and spirit is like, it's time to, you've done the homework, you've saved, what you had to save. So take a leap of faith, and invest in yourself. All right. And then you have the ornaments card, which talks about mature investment, right? I just said that, retirement, extra money. Some of you, if you do have extra money, if you have a little side hustle or something like that, a second income, make sure you're saving that, and investing that wisely as well. Okay. So money looks good. Don't be afraid to ask for help, or um, as it relates to money, or learn something new about investing, and then just go for it. Okay, that's it. That's what I'm getting for you, Scorpio, as it relates to money. All right, so we're gonna move on to love, romantic love, partnership, and just see what the energy is around that. All right. Okay. Like it. All right. So in the past position, and you take this how it resonates, I will read it for singles and people who are those who are partnered. But sometimes I pick up more of one energy than the other. So, but you take it how it resonates. I am picking up the energy of someone who could possibly be in a relationship. The first card, the energy that you're coming out of is like a runner energy, fear of intimacy, running away, letting go. I feel like for those Scorpios who are partnered, it was hard in the past for you to let someone in. Okay. Even if you're partnered, married, just, you kind of kept a wall up. You really didn't, maybe you didn't want them to, and maybe there's just certain things you don't talk about with your partner. There's a sense that I don't feel like you're physically running away, but like maybe mentally and emotionally. Like when your partner wants to know something, you kind of clam up. You're just not wanting to communicate and talk about certain things. It could be stuff about your childhood. There's a child in the card, on a bridge, if you can see that. But there's an energy of like just not wanting to, I don't know, let your partner in on some kind of, I don't want to say secret, but maybe just something that you've just held on to since childhood. But there's a sense that whatever this is causing some type of conflict, because maybe it has created for you like a mindset or something, and it's affecting your relationship, or it did in the past, because it's in the past position, but you're coming out of that. You have the dragonfly energy, which talks about feeling lighthearted, things coming out. Something may have come out then. Your partner may have found out a secret from your past or from your childhood that you were trying not to speak on. Your partner just may be very like in tune with you. This could be also you with them. They could be a water sign as well. You could, if this is your partner, you're very intuitive, so you probably have picked up on something, but something came to light recently. Okay. This could be infidelity as well. Someone found out about another person. Maybe that was why you were fearing something, but it's like a fear, like emotional blockage within a relationship, not wanting to talk about fear of intimacy, so not wanting to let your partner in, but something came to light. But there's a sense that you're working through it, you're healing through a situation, and it's bringing in a lot of abundance, okay, and healing. All right, so that's in the future. Like I said, you got the card of soulmates, a soul contract, a life partner, partnership, okay, and ascending. So whatever this is, you and your partner are working through it. You're definitely making some strides to work through whatever this is that came to light. Doesn't have to be about, a third party. It could be maybe you were just holding on to something you didn't want to say to your partner about something from childhood, something that happened to you. You kept it to yourself, and then finally it just came out. You just felt like you needed to say it. Yeah, you released the burden. Yeah, something definitely came to the light. But it's healing. It's healing the connection. For those of you then who are single and who are seeking a partnership, there's a sense that maybe you're doing some soul work. You're healing uh, your inner child, and it's good because it's preparing you for a union with your soulmate. Okay, ascending, new phase, learning, growing, expanding. Yeah. It's changing your whole mindset. Uh, this card talks about a positive shift mindset because you've let go of something. All right, trusting your healing process. Yeah, emotional release. You made a decision. Yep, and the death card, your energy, transformation, walking away from things that no longer served you, and healing. Ten of Swords. Yeah. So either way, this is very healing energy, whether it's a Scorpio that's single or partner or in a newer connection. You're doing some healing work, either individually, some soul searching, healing some inner child, doing some shadow work. If you're single, and it's opening up more energy for a very abundant connection with possibly the one that you're going to be with, in a commitment with. And then if you're in a partnership, whatever came to the light, you're working through it, and you and your partner like really committed to like pouring into like healing. There's a lot of healing energy working through this. All right, so that is beautiful. So Scorpio, that was your life, love, and money reading. Don't forget to leave me a comment, hit that like button, let me know if it resonates, if you got something from it. I hope you did, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, love, and light.